What's going on, healthy gamers? Jack here with you, and I have Bzmode, who was the winner of the second hour-long race in Path of Exile with me. I'm really excited about that. We're gonna get all of his secrets, and hopefully one of you guys can beat him next time. And Bzmode's real name is Mike. Mike, how you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty happy.
Yeah, you must be doing good. You just won that whole thing.
Yeah, went into it, I'm like, all right. My only goal going into it was to beat my friends, which I did, obviously.
Right.
And
how did your friends do?
They're kind of new to the game. They kind of got into it because I did. So, they did all right. It was their first race. They got, I think, up to level 15 was the highest one.
Okay, that's not bad. You know how I did? I died at minute 7 to the medicine. Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I mean, you gotta practice though.
I do. This was my first race I've done, and it was like that South Park picture where it's like, that's what I felt like. It's like I started the race and I'm dead.
All right. I mean, it's unfortunate. I'm sorry.
Yeah, lessons learned. I guess my lesson is I need to suck less. But yeah. So let's talk about what you did and what your success was. What class did you run?
I've been watching a lot of streams, and I don't really do any practicing myself. But I watched Nugian, Nuki. He's been playing a shadow, and he's been practicing his ass off. And I've been watching, tabbing in and out, watching here and there. And yeah, I like the way he plays, and I respect it. So I decided to, copy him with maybe a little bit of me in there.
Okay, so let's talk about starting off. What was your immediate goal starting off? You're on the beach.
My immediate goal was to grab the sword, grab the dagger, and talk to the guy and stab the zombie to death.
Right. Okay.
But more realistically, my immediate goal was to skip as much as possible and only kill giant packs, like packs that were not only safe to kill, but also tightly bound so that they would be stuck, in a nice AoEable formation.
Sure, so did you run straight to Hillock, or did you kill any of the packs between him?
Actually, I opened a few chests on the way, and got a little luck there, because I found a crude bow, which, as a shadow, you don't start out with a bow.
Sure.
But I wanted to use a bow, so, it was a good start. So I recommend, if you're a shadow trying to get, items or whatever, if you see a chest on the way, don't go out of your way, but on the way, I would open it and I would, receive the loot before killing Hillock.
So you kill Hillock, you go into the town. What's your next move?
Next move is straight for, I don't know the NPC's name, but she's the one that sells the rings, the belts, whatever.
Sure.
And my goal is to find the highest health coral ring. So I zip through it really quick, see, the highest health coral ring, buy it, equip it, and then move over to get my skill gem. Okay,
and the coral ring, those cost what, 1 wisdom scroll?
I believe it's three wisdom scrolls.
Okay.
Which you start with, so there's no excuse not to get one.
Right, good point. I did not even realize that. That's a great point. So you want to buy that hit point ring so you're less likely to die, like I did 7 minutes in.
Coral rings are probably saved me a few times. I mean, I got pretty low. Pretty low.
Perfect. So what was the first skill that you took then?
The first skill I actually took was similar to Nuji's. I just took Fire Trap because it goes really well with what I would pick up later. Sure.
What's the thought behind Fire Trap?
Fire Trap is just, you don't need good gear. Fire Trap is there. It's solid. It's you build up charges, you toss them down, they do a lot of damage. You could have bad gear, you can have the best gear in the game, they'll still do the same amount of damage, pretty much.
Perfect, and that's perfect for a 1 hour race when you have shit all for gear.
You don't want to try to be lucky. I mean, you can get lucky, but you want to go for what's safest.
Sure. Okay. So now you're on your medicine chest quest.
Actually, I skipped that quest.
You skipped that quest, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the thought behind that?
I skip it.
Okay.
I think it takes. I don't think it makes up for the time that just skipping it. Going straight for the poison arrow, and onto the ledge and so forth.
Okay. Sure. So you're Yeah, can you just walk me through the steps that you took from getting that fire trap skill.
All right, so fire trap. You're gonna run. You're gonna run onto the terraces. Run as far as you can until you get 3 traps stored up, which is what I waited for, and then try to get the biggest pack of bandits you can, while playing very safe. Make sure if your health even dips to like 80%, you want to pop a health pot immediately because it's obviously this is a very dangerous game. The coral ring will help with that, but you're gonna want to throw a fire trap right in front of you and just drag them over it. Just throw, drag, throw, drag. Try to hit level 2 before you even enter the mud flats while skipping the tidal island.
Okay. Perfect. So you're going to the mud flats, and so all along the way you're pretty much making a beeline for the mud flats. You're only looking for the biggest packs. Everything else you're ignoring.
Yep, exactly. Saving up 3 charges of those fire traps and then trying to take out a pack with them. You got to be efficient.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, so you're in the mud flats. What's your goal there?
Well, the first goal obviously is to look at the map. I mean, this is more of a complex thing, but you can kind of tell how the map's going to lay out just from, the starting little area, like where the glyph wall is going to be, where the 3 glyphs are going to be, the fetid pool, which you're going to want to avoid.
So you're avoiding the fetid pool.
Yes, completely. The fetid pool is just a massive waste of time. I will never recommend doing it.
Really? Okay.
I'd recommend, just like Tidal Island, skipping that. I mean, that's my personal strategy. You don't...
Okay,
it's not like a for sure thing that, this is 100% better or whatever.
Sure. But, you're the level 20, so I'm going to listen to you.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Okay, so you're just going for those little green nests right now.
The green glyphs. Yep. You're going to... Now, it's very dangerous because, as we all know, in Path of Exile, Roas are... I would say one of the most deadly creatures in the game, of course.
They are so annoying.
You don't want to just charge right towards the glyph, okay?
Sure.
Even if it means using some fire traps and maybe some stabby, you gotta kind of skirt around and draw them away, and then beeline towards the glyph once they're out of the way. You don't necessarily need to level here.
So okay, so you might not even be trying to kill anything right here.
No, you absolutely don't have to. It's much more efficient to kill things in the next area.
Okay. So you're just grabbing those glyphs and going on into those caves?
Yeah, finding the wall.
Okay. So are you killing things in the caves now?
Oh, yes. The first goal of getting into the lower submerged, though, is to get back to town. You don't want to use a portal because those are vital.
Okay.
You do not want to use a portal scroll. What you want to do is find the waypoint. This is very important. If you see the upper submerged door, flooded depths, you've gone too far, go back, find the waypoint.
Okay. So you're going to town. What are you doing in town?
In town, we want to pick up our glyph wall reward quest, which is Poison Arrow.
Okay.
Which seems right now be the most popular choice. And also, hopefully on the way, you've looted at least 1 wisdom scroll or a bow. Because obviously you need a bow to use Poison Arrow.
Sure.
And that's sold from the other vendor, or from the same vendor who gives you the glyph wall reward.
Sure.
So you're gonna want to close it out. Maybe you have to sell an armor scrap. They sell for 2 scrolls of wisdom, or a blacksmith's whetstone, 4 scrolls of wisdom. Sell them real quick. Grab a bow, stick your poison arrow in it, and move on right back into the waypoint.
Okay, and then from there, are you farming that? Lower submerged?
It's just like the whole race. You kind of want to farm a little bit, but mostly run.
Oh.
I would say you do want to get 1 level, though, in the lower submerged. You don't want to go into upper submerged before you're level 3.
Okay. So you get that level, and then you're moving up to upper. So you skip the bottom dweller quest as well?
Yes.
Okay. Now you're in the upper submerged. What's your goal there?
Same as it's going to be for a long time in races. You're just going to shoot, scoot. You're going to want to scoot, shoot, throw down fire traps, AoE as much as you can. You don't want to stop for like 1 or 2 little mobs. You want to move until you have, I would say, at least like 8, 9, and then AoE them down.
Okay. So that's your threshold, like 8 or 9 mobs before you'll even bother with them.
It's not always that much. I'm saying that's just for the upper submerged passage, because that's kind of like a tight-knit area. There's a lot of those little worm monsters, whatever they call them.
Sure.
And another piece of advice for there, the sea witches who shoot the water waves will one-shot you So don't get hit with those.
Wow.
I've had past experiences.
Okay. How long are you staying in the upper submerged then, or are you just moving right on through?
My goal is to get to the ledge. I have no ambitions of farming there, but you do also, like the last place, you do want to get one level there so that you can move into the ledge at level 4.
Okay. And now I'm assuming you're gonna farm the ledge for a while?
No.
No.
I also did not farm the ledge for a while. I shot straight through it.
You are just doing everything the opposite of what I did, and that explains why it was so bad.
Well, yeah. That's just what I do.
Okay, perfect. So you shoot straight through the ledge. Do you even kill that unique totem guy?
Oh, no. You don't mess with Kaduku. He's not a force to be trifled with.
I was gonna say level 4, that would be rough.
But you should kill as much as you can on your way through the ledge, because you're gonna need the levels. You're gonna need the points, the passive tree points.
Sure. Okay, so you shoot straight through the ledge.
Yeah.
You're in that whatever that next zone is with the fiery dogs. What are you doing there?
The rocky climb, yeah. There it's just like every zone before that. You want to group up tight groups, and AOE them down. One little trick you can use there that I learned from Nuji is the goat ants. You know how they leap at you and it's a straight line. You don't want to run if there's too many of them and you're in trouble. You don't want to run directly away. You want to kind of scoot around them and just fire trap, poison arrow, fire trap, and just kind of like do a circle around them with your health potion going until it's a reasonable number. Then you can keep running.
Sure. So like a side strafe sort of deal.
Yeah, exactly. Like you want to strafe around them. Exactly.
Okay, perfect. And then what level are you just shooting straight through?
Shooting straight through. We're not stopping. You want to get as much as you can though, because by the time you get to the next area, I don't remember exactly what I was because I haven't done many of these races, but I think like level maybe 8, maybe 7, somewhere around there.
Okay, and then just keep talking us through it.
All right, so you're in the prison. The prison is a little more dangerous. You want to completely avoid, I would say, any rare mob, but the skeletons are very easy to kill with the usual fire trap, poison arrow combo.
Okay.
Just the grouping isn't as good in there, but you're gonna come across a few decent groups and just pick them off. Keep running. Find the upper prison. Same thing. You don't want to farm in either of these. You just want to get kills here, kills there.
Sure.
And then you're gonna get to Brutus, and we all know Brutus.
Right.
He's a bad motherfucker.
Right. Because I'm thinking you're gonna be way under leveled for him right now. What's your strategy?
If you're killing like you're supposed to be, he shouldn't be a problem. Definitely if you picked up some decent potions, decent gear, which you should be. You should not be like in such a hurry that you're freaking out. You're not picking up orbs or, gear that will upgrade your character. You can't freak out. You gotta stay calm, you gotta pick up what you need, and you shouldn't have a problem with Brutus. Definitely is a ranged character.
Okay, right. Okay. And then after Brutus, what are you doing?
A bit short on mana.
Well, to go into Brutus a little bit, I just want to say that don't be afraid to use one of your portal scrolls in the middle of the fight, because Brutus, he's got a lot of health, and depending on how low you get there, you might need to refill,
Yeah.
All you have to do is, he throws a chain, you juke it, you shoot, throw, juke, shoot, etc., trap, whatever. Kill him.
That's a great tip, because you portal back to town, you fill up all your potions, your health, you portal back,
second. Boom,
and
you're back in.
Yeah, he's still at the same health that he was at.
Yeah, he doesn't heal.
Yeah,
he doesn't have energy shield. You're good to go.
That's a fantastic tip.
All right, and then the next thing you want to do after you kill Brutus, you want to scope, look over his loot real quick, see maybe there's boots, maybe there's a bow, maybe there's a unique, maybe there's a mirror of Calandra, whatever. You grab the stuff, you log out, log back in as fast as you can, because when you kill Brutus, you activate the next waypoint automatically. So instead of having to run through his little prison and waste a minute, you can just log out, log in, be in town. And the convenient thing about this is if you're level 9 at this point, you can actually buy a leather belt. And that's another key part of the strategy. It's from the same girl who sells the coral rings.
Sure.
So you want to look for the highest HP leather belt and buy it and equip it, obviously. Because the next two areas, extremely dangerous. Also, if you just so happen to have enough, you can also buy either a Sapphire Ring or an Iron Ring, and then go grab your Brutus quest reward and get a blue gem. Because if you vendor a blue gem, any kind of blue gem, with an iron ring, you get a sapphire ring, and that's for later. And it will be very helpful to you.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, it's
That's a
great
very
tips right here.
important.
Okay. So
So,
so you're moving forward, you got that new waypoint now.
yes, you got the free waypoint for killing Brutus. You didn't have to activate it. That's why you relogged.
Sure.
So now you're going to go to that waypoint, obviously, and you're going to, I'd say 75% of the time, you go south. Because that's usually where the gap is. You know, you got to run down the, I forgot what the zone is. I think it's Prisoner's Gate. Where
Sure,
you gotta
sure.
do a long hike down the hill.
Right.
And one big piece of advice here. I think this is the most dangerous zone. If maybe the second most dangerous zone in the 1 hour race, because not only are there leapers, there's also shaman, there's also a dog called the Burning Menace, and he is insanely overpowered. He will kill you if he hits you. If you're trying to rush, avoid this dog like the plague. Run right past him, no matter how. I don't care if the group has 100 mobs you can AoE down. Run, get away from him, and then you can go back to killing. But just like every other area, you're gonna want to keep killing, because by the time you get to the next area, you want to be at least level 9.5, preferably 10.
Okay. Yeah, and what I'm hearing is you really want to get out of the mindset of the normal player where as you're going through you're killing everything you see, you're killing all the elite mobs and whatnot. So you're really just going after the big packs that are easy to kill. You're
packs,
not bothering.
Big white packs. Leave big scary yellow mobs alone, unless they're super squishy and you just so happen to already be AoEing them.
Sure. So it's just that risk versus reward in a 1 hour race. You know, the risk of death is not worth that little chance of a good drop. Go ahead.
And you lost. I mean, you're done. One death in a 1 hour race, you're not going to beat people like me who are just, more than likely not going to die. Because
Absolutely.
of practice, obviously.
Right.
Like I said, avoid the Burning Menace.
Okay,
He's killed me more than I can say.
Avoid the Burning Menace. All right, what's next?
So the next, we're going to get into the ship graveyard, and a neat little trick about the ship graveyard is if you find the water, which you can find almost immediately when walking into it, just follow it, because it will take you to the next area. And there's usually a lot of big packs on the way, but be very careful here. Never get close to the water elementals, and also dodge the Roas, obviously.
Okay.
And then one last tip for the ship graveyard. If you're coming up on the Fairgraves Cove, you're going to want to scoot around it, because obviously it's a dead end. You'll be able to notice it by looking at your mini-map and seeing the little quest marker, the green quest marker.
Sure, that little green, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so you move around it and just get right back on the water, follow, and before you know it, you're in the coves.
Okay, so you completely skip that quest and skip that...
Yes.
Okay, I see.
Skip that entire zone pretty much. I mean, if you can. Like, if you're already level 10, I recommend not killing anything there, because that place is beyond dangerous.
Wow,
Very dangerous.
Okay. All right, interesting. Then next. You're in the Cove. What are you doing?
We're in the coves. Now this place is beautiful. I try to kill as many mobs as I can in the coves. I try to avoid the crabs because they take too long.
Okay.
But I do try to kill as many of the zombies and bandits as I can.
Right, and these are just not as dangerous as the...
No. There can be dangerous ones. But I think at this point your gear and your mindset, everything should be good enough. You should be on your game, ready. You should be able to live through this part.
Okay. All right. So when do you move on from the Cove, or are you just blasting through?
We're blasting through, just like every other area. We're blasting right through. We're not going back for a second or third clear. I mean, honestly, let me tell you this. Some people do choose to stay in the coves. If you think you're having a bad race, and you just want to get the maximum amount of points, and you think you got there too late, or your gear's awful, whatever, I think you should stop and just look at your situation and just say, alright, I'm just gonna farm the coves, because honestly it's not bad. It's not that big of a difference to stay at the coves or to go to Western Forest. I mean, I suggest if you can, shoot for the Western Forest, but if you really think you're not doing too good, I would stay in the coves and I would run back and forth and farm it all day until the race ends.
Okay, interesting. All right, so let's say you move on to the Western Forest. What level should you be at this point?
Well, moving into Mervale's, the Cavern of Wrath.
Okay,
you should be, from running through the coves, probably level 11, 11 and a half, somewhere around there.
Sure.
And the next part is very important. you know how you get the free waypoint when you go in the caverns. This is like a gift to you.
Sure.
At this point, you want to take stock of how much currency you have. You want to go through the waypoint back to town, go to the girl who sells the belts, grab your quest reward. Make sure you grab a blue reward if you can, because that will reward you with a Sapphire Ring.
Okay.
Which is very important, because you know how we got the Sapphire Ring earlier from getting the Brutus reward and the Iron Ring?
Sure.
So we want to get 2 Sapphire Rings. Very important. And if you can afford it, maybe another better life flask.
Okay. And these Sapphire Rings, they give you the cold resist, right?
Correct. Which
Okay.
you're going to need for Mervale.
Correct. Okay, perfect.
Also, if you're just flush with money, you might want to look and grab another coral ring for the meantime. So, remember how we bought the one at the start?
Sure.
Maybe you didn't get another one on the way. Maybe you're wearing a frost resist ring right now. Maybe... Because, also, the cavern itself is very dangerous, just like Mervale.
Okay, sure. So you grab those rings, you go back to that waypoint, and are you blasting through? Are you killing stuff? Are you avoiding stuff? What are you doing?
Blasting through. The main things to avoid, you want to avoid Mervale's daughters. They're very dangerous, definitely the electric one.
Okay.
I kind of played it risky and killed some mobs around the fire one because you can dodge his abilities. And you want to just fly through there as fast as you can. Hopefully you don't get a large chest, because that will really shave some time off your efficiency.
Sure. That'll be a little distracting.
Yeah, well, not just because it's distracting, it just opens up the map to a whole new, like, spectrum. There's a whole... You would go down a long hall and be like, oh man, I must almost be to the next area, but then...
Okay.
Oh no, it's a large chest.
Right.
God,
Dead end, yeah, I see.
How horrible, this large chest.
Yeah.
Oh no.
God damn you for giving me all this loot.
I mean, and then you go back, you want to get through the caverns as fast as possible, obviously. And then during the next cavern, you got to be extremely careful, because that's the one where the suicide daughters are.
All right.
If
Yeah,
you just so happen to have had a fire resist ring and you're really quick with your fingers, you might want to throw that on over your weaker coral ring for this part, just to be safe.
Okay.
And shoot and scoot your way through there, because by the time you get through there to Mervale, you want to be level 12. I would say 12, bare minimum level 12.
Okay, bare minimum level 12, getting to Mervale.
And now we're moving on to the hardest part of the race, fighting Mervale.
Okay.
This part took me a long time to master, and I still mess up very often.
Okay.
The first thing to do is make sure you have portals. You want at least 2 portal scrolls. That's bare minimum.
Okay.
It's very dangerous. You also want to make sure you have the best flasks you can. You want to throw your frost resist rings on both of them. And hopefully you get up to somewhere around 45, 50 frost resist. Maybe more if you've gotten lucky with gear.
Sure.
And then the battle's going to begin. You're going to pull you do not want to fight Mervale up on her platform. You want to shoot her, go down, pull her down into the center of the, right below her platform, where you have a lot of space to move.
Okay.
And then do not want to get too far away from her. You want to kind of stay in her dead zone, like you're playing against a hunter in vanilla. You want to stay in her dead zone. Anytime she tries to move in to swing at you, you move back. Anytime she cold snaps you, you move out of it, and just shoot, trap, and it should be simple. Keep your potions going the whole time. If you absolutely have to, go through your portal, refill instantly, fly back in there, and make sure she doesn't regenerate her energy shield. And just stay in that dead zone.
Okay, so that is the key part to that fight, is staying in her dead zone,
Yeah.
so she's not shooting that big ice spear that's
Those
breaking
ice
out.
spears
Yeah.
are dead. You don't want to get hit with those. The frost resist will help tremendously, but you still don't want to get hit with those.
Okay, sure. So you kill her, and then what's your strategy after that?
Oh, well, the second phase is simple. What I did personally is I threw down 3 fire traps right on top of her, because I just so happened to have them saved, so when she popped out into her second form, she took a crap load of damage. I moved out, AoE'd down, and then just rinse and repeat. You want to trap, arrow, move around in circles, It's
Sure.
a very easy fight.
Okay.
And then, of course, I was the first one out to the forest, which...
You managed to kill Greg.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that little notice. Very nice. So now you're in the forest, and that's Act 2 now, right?
Act 2, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, are you just
Scooting and shooting right through
Scooting
the
and shooting.
forest. The forest is a great zone. Many people underestimate it. It's another zone where if you think, man, maybe my Mervale went bad, you could just farm the forest. The forest has a lot of very tightly packed mobs. It's really good for our spec, the Poison Arrow Fire Trap. If you don't think it's efficient to try to go for the Western Forest, farm the forest, the regular one. It's great.
Okay,
but
sure. Go ahead.
Obviously, continue on with our normal strategy. If we're doing good, are gonna shoot right through the forest, kill as much as we can as usual. Hopefully hit level 14, I would say, minimum. And get into the town at 14, obviously.
Are you doing anything special in town now?
Yeah, we are gonna go shoot straight to the back. We're gonna talk to the woman who vendors the potions and such. Vendor everything we can to get as many scrolls of wisdom, and we're gonna try to pick up some large healing flasks, maybe a large mana flask.
Okay.
That's very important. Also, if you can afford it, you're gonna want to pick up another fire resist ring or your first fire resist ring. Also, one piece of advice I skipped over: when you enter the forest, you're gonna want to put your coral rings back on because it's gonna get dangerous again. These monkeys are crazy. They're gonna throw crap at you, and it's gonna hurt for some reason.
Sure. Okay, so you're in town. You picked up all of that stuff.
We've got our flasks. We're level 14. We've got our fire rings. We've got our coral rings equipped right now, though. And then we're gonna head out into what I think is the Dark Forest, or not the Dark Forest. I'm sorry, River's Crossing.
Okay, right. Yep, that's to the west, to the left.
To the west, out. Yep, southwesty kinda.
Okay.
And here, the main thing of River Crossing is you want to stay on the road. You kind of, can go along the edge of the road to get bigger packs a little bit, but for the most part, you want to just stay on the road. And you're going to see a lot of big packs here. I mean, you should hit like 15.5 before you make it to the Dark Forest, just by following the road.
Okay, perfect.
So, and then it's the same thing in the Dark Forest. You follow the road. The Dark Forest gets a little random because there's not a road all the way through it. So, you gotta rely on a little luck.
Right.
I mean, there's some thinking you can do to figure out where the exit is, but basically what you do want to avoid is going to the Arachnid area.
Okay.
Not because it's that dangerous, but you can't find the exit there. It's not in there.
Right. So when you see all the trees looking like spider webs, you're in the wrong area.
Exactly. You want to get to the Western Forest. That's what's important.
Okay. So you find that and you're in the Western Forest now?
Yeah, great. You made it to the Western Forest. What you want to do, depending on your health and your build, I would say throw on both ruby rings, which if you have only one, that's fine. If you have 0, you might be in a little bit of trouble unless you have ridiculous gear and really good health potions. But yeah, I suggest 2. I used only 1 personally because that's all I had, and it was a bad one at that, and I managed to live.
Okay.
And basically what you're going to do is stay on the road, just like everywhere else. You're going to hug the road, you're going to skip certain elites, most of them I would say.
Sure.
Kill packs, I would say above 4, at least 4 tight-knit bandits.
Okay.
Try to move in a way that the bandits explode on you, but they're out of range a little bit, so they don't hit you.
Okay.
Try to move scoot around them.
Right.
If you do end up taking a bandit hit, you don't want to run in a straight line, just like when you were running from the Goatman. You want to kind of strafe around the pack, shooting, trapping until you get your health back up from your life flasks, and then move down the road.
Sure. Okay, so I want to ask real quick, whenever you're playing, are you shooting an arrow and then making a move command and then shooting an arrow?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It's very, very Han-esque, orb walking. Very much like that.
Okay, I see. So you're following the road all the way through that zone again?
Yep, and then at the end, you find the quest thing where you hit the stone on the wall, opens up to the prisoner's gate at the end of the road.
Sure.
Clear as many mobs as you can there, head in, and from there it's just the same thing. You reset the instance, you fly back down the road, killing as much as you can, and don't pick up minimal amount of stuff because you're not going to go back to town unless it's absolutely necessary. You don't need to be picking up any currency unless it's like an exalted orb. I'll forgive you for picking up an exalted orb. It's okay. And then you move on and you just boom back and forth efficiently. try to pick up an upgrade here and there, maybe grab some better healing potions. That's very important if you see a better healing potion.
Okay.
And if you've done all this right, you should hit at least level 18 just by making it there and, you know, playing decently.
Wow. Okay. And then that's just what you're doing until the timer runs out?
Yep, that's all I do. Nothing special, just, you know.
Okay, that's...
Fire trap, poison arrow. Fire trap, poison arrow. Move, fire trap, poison arrow. Blah, blah,
that's, I mean, you know what? I think we've given the players a very good template. So even though, you know, because obviously there's only going to be one winner of every race, but if you follow this, if you play, you know, play well and play smart, it sounds like you should be able to be racking up, you know, 6-7 points every race, right?
And you can't forget about luck. If you're to use this strategy, my strategy or Nuji's, whoever's strategy, get a little lucky, maybe find a silver branch unique bow, you're gonna win the race just by playing well.
Right.
Not just, you know, not win the race.
Absolutely. So let me try to recap some of the big key things to keep in mind. Is that you're not stopping unless you're never stopping, and you're just, you know, you're looking for the big packs of mobs, and you're avoiding anything that even appears to be dangerous.
Yes.
Because that is your number one priority. Even over killing mobs, you want to stay alive more than anything else, obviously.
Oh, yep. If you're dead, it's over. Game over. So, yep. Just avoid the sticky situations.
Right. Okay. So that's
rule to live by.
Sure. That's a good rule for life. Yeah. I don't know. What anything else you want to add to this?
No. I just want to say thanks for the support to everyone who messaged me during the game. If you have any questions for me, my name is Bzmode in Path of Exile. Send me a PM and I will respond.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you coming on here with us, and if you're up for it, I'd love to bring you back and talk more Path of Exile some more.
Anytime. I'm not always on Skype because, you know, people call me and it's annoying. So if you would like to get in contact, just like everyone else, I'll make sure to watch my messages and just shoot me a message.
Awesome. Well, thank you once again so much, Mike, and good luck on the next race.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already. Take a second to hit like and share via your social media, and then check out some of these other videos here. There's a transformation, a steak dinner, and doing 102 reps of squats with 225 pounds.